communities, development of our country. And today, to moderate this session, I'll be joined with Mickey Lemnue. My own name is Bill Aga. Okay, I'm sure most people here already know me, so no need for the long intro. So today's session, as you all know already, it's about civic engagement and going through an overview of what some Open Dreams scholars have been doing to uplift the situation back in their countries and even from abroad. We have noticed over the past years a growing number of youth passionate about leadership, community development, and civic engagement. They have been doing amazing works in Cameroon. They have been contributing to national development. And today we are going to be hearing from them. We are going to be hearing their stories. We are going to be hearing their initiatives. We are going to be hearing about their projects, and why not their vision for the projects in the future. It is a really amazing opportunity for us all to be on this call, to listen and learn and be inspired from what they have been doing. It is all about encouraging, entrepreneurship leadership, which are in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. Open Dreams is championing community development in Cameroon through its scholar base, and today we'll be celebrating them. So I will give the floor to Mickey at this moment for her to read to us what the program of today is going to look like. Hello, Mickey.
Hello, Bill. Please, can you get me now?
Yes, 5 on 5.
Okay, thank you very much. So good evening, good afternoon. I'm Mickey Myang, currently schooling at Ashesi University, and I'm privileged to co-host this event on civic engagement. So as my colleague has earlier said, this program mainly has to do with our individual and collective actions to identify and address issues of public concern. So the Open Dreams scholars have several projects in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. And we are going to be calling on them today to speak about these projects. On the program today, we have a brief rundown on the program. First, we'll start with the humanitarian action having to do with the Sustainable Development Goal number 10 on reducing inequalities. So we'll have a talk from Melvis Fomi, Daphne Chebesi, and Mazda and Odette. Those will be our first speakers. Next, we'll have a talk on health research based on Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being. We're going to have talks from Dr. Jackie Shaka. We're going to have talks from Dr. Nwela, Mr. Mickey Gilbert, and Dr. Nwela Guanyama. Next on our program, culture and food sufficiency, in line with the Sustainable Goal number 2, zero hunger. The people who talk on this are Faith Chotu and Milton Keynes. Next, we're going to have youth engagement or mentorship. That's in line with Sustainable Goal number 6. We're going to have a talk from Clement Konsong and Titus, including George Martins. And last but not the least, we're going to have a talk on technology that's going to be presented by our very own moderator, by Bill Agasori and Mr. Elvis Tanwi, Felix Fomenya. So we'll go straight to our talk. So I would like my co-moderator to introduce our first speakers so that they can take on the floor.
Thank you very much, Mickey, for letting us know what is on the agenda for the day. We are going to be having our first, presentation, and I would just like to do a check if she's already on the call. Hello, Melvis, are you there? Great, Melvis is there. So Melvis has been doing a lot of humanitarian work. She's passionate about helping the needy and seeing how she can offer a helping hand to orphans, to those in difficult situations. She has been running 2 editions of our program. She'll be telling us more about this in her presentation. So Mervis, for me, the floor is all yours.
Hello, Bill. Hello, everyone. Bill, I'm facing some network challenges now, so my computer is unable to load, and I can't do my presentation without it because it's a PowerPoint. So I don't know if another person is ready, the person could just proceed. Then I'm sure in 10 minutes time, I must have sorted out the problem.
Okay, so, but is there a possibility for you to share it through WhatsApp to one of us and then it can be shared? Or it's on your machine and your machine is not available? I didn't get you well.
I think if I succeed in connecting my machine, I'll just send it to you, perhaps through WhatsApp. Then as you project it, I will explain.
Okay, cool. No problem. Then we will proceed to our next presenters. So still under humanitarian action, you know, it's all about service to humanity. It's all about giving a helping hand to the needy and seeing how we can be that smile, put the smile on the faces of this of kids and people when they need it. So we have Daphne Chebesi, who has been doing some work in this domain, and it was a pleasure for us to listen from her and the work she has been doing. Hello, Daphne.
Hi, Bill. Can you hear me?
5 on 5. So we are so anxious to hear from you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you. Okay, so hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Daphne, and for a while now, I've been working on the project Inspire for Peace. The title of this project draws from just the fact that with all what is happening in Cameroon, we need people to be conscious of the fact that war or the gun is never an option to solving a problem, and we all have like a role to play in, you know, bringing an end to what's happening or maybe mitigating the effects of what's happening. So it's my own way of inspiring people to choose peace in times of conflict or in times of disagreement. So I started out by, you know, what inspired the project is the fact that I have great interest in issues related to education and education accessibility, because I feel like education is a very powerful tool for individuals and communities in terms of ways through which people can transform their community. So if people do not have access to education, they cannot make a difference in their community. However, there are thousands of children in Cameroon who have been deprived of their right to education, or maybe to education in safe spaces because of the conflict that's happening at the moment. So when I started out, I was just worried about the increasing numbers. So I decided to initially blog about it because I felt like maybe if people get to know more about what is happening, they'll be encouraged to take action.
Hello, Daphne. Please,
Yes.
can you speak a little bit louder?
All right, is it better now?
Very much.
Okay, so I said I started this project with just blogging because I read the news one time, and it said the crisis in Cameroon is ranked as the most neglected displacement crisis, and I was just wondering why it's the most neglected displacement crisis. Then just by talking to people, I realized that most people do not know about it. So I initially started just by writing a blog post and, you know, sharing it on certain websites. But later on, I realized that there is more work that needs to be done. So I created an awareness campaign and a fundraiser. The awareness campaign was just telling the story of what's happening from the perspective of a young girl who wants to go to school but cannot go to school because of what's happening. And then the fundraiser was to raise funds to support the education of, internally displaced primary school pupils who maybe have had to leave their regions of origin or their towns or communities of origin to come to, safer spaces to pursue education. So the rationale behind this is that these children have had to endure a lot coming from their communities at very tender ages, and they can't fend for themselves. So they need someone to, give them an extra push. And even though the project does not maybe cater for all their needs, it gives them a little, and which helps to maybe reduce like the gap when it comes to what their parents have to provide when they are going to school at the beginning of the year. So maybe if a child was not having a school bag, or if the parent did not have school fees to pay for the pupil, then providing a school bag is going to leave the parent a certain amount of money to be able to afford part of the school fees. So in the summer of 2021, the project started the first phase of the project was in Douala, and we donated about 120 school bags to 120 pupils. Initially, the plan was to donate 100, but we had so many more pupils than we anticipated. So this is the first phase. The funding for this project was from a crowdfunding campaign. So with the funds we raised from the crowdfunding campaign, we were able to purchase 120 school bags and quite a number of exercise books, pens, pencils, rulers, and all of those school supplies that children might need at the beginning of the academic year. And then all of these pupils also were internally displaced pupils, and just a few of them were not internally displaced. And then the next phase of the project was still in summer 2021, but was in Bamenda. This one was a little bit more focused on about 22 primary school pupils who have left their communities, and then they have settled in safer spaces in Bamenda to be able to go to school. So the funding for this phase of the project was from the Ford Foundation grants at Ashesi University. And yeah, this is the second phase. And then the third phase was in December 2021, and we did this in partnership with Providence Action, that is run by Melvis, where we followed up on the pupils we had donated to in summer 2021 to check in on their progress at school, and also to give them additional materials and just to make sure that they are okay and they're able to go to school, since most of them are still in Bamenda, which is like a risk zone. So this is like the components. This is the components of the package each child receives. Each child gets, we spend about $16 on average for each child, and this is what each child receives depending on the class they are in. Some are in primary school, some are in nursery school. So depending on what class they are in, they get to receive this sort of package at the beginning of the school year. And so far this project has raised about $2,500 in funding from grants and a crowdfunding campaign, and about 150 children have benefited from the project. That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daki, for that enlightening presentation. Wow, I'm so amazed at the change that you're making even in Cameroon. From Daphne's presentation, we can see that there is a main issue of creating on what is happening back even in the country, because many people, many people are not conscious of what children are going through, children who have been displaced from Bamenda, children who have left their home from Kumba. They are going through a lot. So it's really amazing to be done. So I think I'm seeing everybody putting their hands together. I think like the feeling is mutual. Everybody is so appreciative of the great works that Daphne has carried out with her project. Again, it is so amazing to see young people invested in creating a good more, the little things you do, the little things, buying a school bag for a child, buying an exercise book for a child, it goes a long way to give them hope for the future, to make them know that there are people who care. So once again, thank you very much, Daphne. Thank you for your initiative. And we know that you will keep on going and the impact that Cameroon needs. You keep on making the impact that the world needs. So right on, you're welcome, you're welcome. So right on, we'll go to our next speaker. I don't know if Melvis is ready. Should we go on?
Melvis has not yet signaled that she's ready, so we'll continue with Odette and Martha.
Yes. Okay, so we're eager to hear from Odette and Martha now. I think the floor is yours.
Hello, Odette.
Hi everyone.
How you get? How are you doing today?
I'm good. I hope everyone else is doing okay. Let me try to share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah,
yes,
you can see your screen.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Ngaso Uget. I'm currently a student in the University of Botswana, and I'm so glad to be here to see all of you all together again. So my presentation is about community service. I had a chance to carry out a community action project together with Odette. You can see her on the picture carrying the baby. So given that we've had this crisis in the Northwest and Southwest region, we've had children who have had to drop out of school or who have had to struggle in one way or the other to continue with their educations, even as they move out of the regions. So this project was mostly targeting internally displaced children, as you can see on the picture, and even adults who left the the crisis-stricken regions, and they went to safer regions like Yaoundé and Douala. But my project, our project actually took place in both Bamenda and in Yaoundé. But our aim and goal was still to target these children who have been affected by the crisis. So what it entailed was teaching these children skills such as beading. As you can see on the picture, they're learning how to do sandals with beads, teaching them how to do hairdressing, and teaching them also how to do manicure and pedicure. So they all had the chance to learn these skills over a period of about 2 months. And by the end of this, it was aimed that they acquire these skills and hopefully use them in one way or the other to support themselves financially, even as they continue with their studies. So as on this picture, everyone actually benefited from it. You can see the little baby by the side also came for the project. She was learning how to do beading, and it was actually fun because as small as she is, her older sisters and brother actually brought her for the project to learn as well. And on the right, you see the mother who was also taking part in the project. She was learning how to do manicure and pedicure. So everyone was involved. The little kid will grow up with those skills and eventually help out with together with her siblings and her parents to bring together that financial support that the family needs. As you can see on this picture, these are some of the outputs from the project. You can see the hair done on this lady was actually done by them. The beading as well. The sandals was done by the children. The nails, you can see them doing the manicure and pedicure on that side. So they succeeded to accomplish this just in about a few weeks. So after this project was done, some of these sandals were given out to them. The beadings were sold, and some of the money were given to the money we had for the project. Some of it was given out to the most hardworking students so that they would use that as a kind of starting funding for themselves, if at all they were planning to maybe start a small business for themselves, which actually some of them did. Right now we have a lady who is doing manicure pedicure. She started from this project, and so far I've been following her up. She's doing pretty fine for herself. There are there is someone else who is also who opened who is working in a salon right now, and the mandate is helping her to take care of her family and her kids. So the main goal of this project was not just to impact the skills to them, but actually letting that skill help them to sustain themselves financially even after the project. Reason why we decided to choose skills that are easy to learn but will help in the long run, such as beading, hairdressing, and manicure pedicure. These are skills that anyone can learn, but when put into application in the right places, it could actually go a long way to help them support themselves financially. So you can see at the end of the project, they all had certificates as well, just to testify for the fact that they had gone through some skill development process. And yeah, so far, it's been really a pleasure to see their progress even after the project. And hopefully we have the chance to do more of these kinds of projects in the future, because there is always a need in the community and you just need to start from somewhere, and just the little impact you leave can go a very long way in helping some other people's lives. And they, after this, some of them took the engagement of actually helping out others who are in this situation similar to them. So as you see, it expands over a wide scale of people, not just them. So yeah, that was the main focus of the project, and I hope hopefully in the future we can do way more than this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Odette, for that wonderful presentation. Again, the famous saying goes that you don't just give your child fish, but you also teach your child how to fish. So as we've seen, Odette is not just giving out help to the displaced or to them how to fend for themselves. And it's a really great initiative because they are able to stand on their own. They are able to depend on themselves. They are able to craft out things with their lively, craft out things for themselves that will help them gain their income for themselves. So once again, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. Thank you for the wonderful initiative that you took with your group.
Yeah,
so
yeah, Mickey, it's really amazing to see what young scholars are able to achieve, even as students. They are still, thinking back about their people back home and how they can, help them, bring them out of poverty. That's great. You get very amazing work, Daphne. So we are going to, Merit is ready. We're going to be moving on to Providence Action presented by Maris. So I'm going to share her presentation. I guess by now you can be able to see my screen.
Yes, the screen is visible.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mavis.
Yes, Bill. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah, 5 on 5. So the floor is yours. Tell us about Providence Action.
Okay. Thank you very much. Providence Action, it's an initiative with its slogan, Pillar for the Underprivileged. It was founded by my humble self, for me, Melvis. Yeah. Bill, please move to the next slide. Bill, please, can you move to the next slide?
Hello, Bill.
Yeah, I'm at the next slide. Is it visible?
I think you're still on the first slide.
Oh, give me a second. I'm on the next slide here. Let me share this again.
Okay.
What about now?
Yes. So Providence Action, like I earlier mentioned, it's an initiative that it's aimed at meeting the needs, the educational needs and health-related needs of orphans and the less privileged young persons based in Cameroon. So far, we've been able to carry out our activities just in Bamenda, but we are hoping to extend it to other parts of the countries this coming year. Bill, please, the next slide. Okay, yeah, cool. So how did Providence Action come about? There are three main factors that brought about the existence of Providence Action. We have the passion, the need, and support I got from others. The passion here is was influenced by how I was brought up. My parents brought me up in a setting whereby they always encourage us to share. Though, to be sincere, at the very start, I wasn't very happy about it. However, with time, I saw the need, and as time passed by, I developed a passion for it. And especially realizing how happy people were whenever you give them something, the joy, the thank you they give you made me to practically develop passion for this. And also the support I got from people around me, my friends, my family, my mentors, and of course the Open Dreams community enabled me to proceed with Providence Action. Bill, please, the next slide. However, before the official starting of Providence Action, I used to do some community works. Like on this picture, this was during my visitation to Mispa Orphanage located at my 6 Bamenda. I used to go there from time to time and share with the children whatever thing I had. There were times that I just go there with dresses. There were times that I buy bread and take it there for them to take their breakfast. There were times that I buy savon. There were times I buy rice. I used to do it alone, and there were also times that my classmate in FHS back then would join me on such visitations. Bill, please, the next slide. So over the years, I founded Providence Action, and I named it Providence Action for a reason that Providence simply means to care and to give, and it's often associated to like the divine care and love God gives to us. And action here is like, you cannot care for somebody if you don't do it in action. Caring is not just something you say by word. You show care through your action. So our first ever project was at Mispa Orphanage on the 6th of June 2021. Like on the like what you can see on the pictures, those in white are my team of volunteers, and the other people around are the children. We paid a visit to the orphanage. The orphanage is made of about 120 kids. During the visitation, we were able to buy books, pens, rulers. Bill, please, to the next slide. We're able to buy pens, rulers, and a lot of other things, and we paid them a visit. Also, we donated a sum of 50,000 francs to a child who was to undergo surgery during the visitation. Bill, the next slide. And also, we didn't just give them stuff. During the visitation, we also divided the children into subgroups, and we gave them educational talks and health talks. Most of the talks were just centered on encouraging them that despite that situation, they should not give up on their goals and they should stay focused. Bill, the next slide. Our second project was the Back to School project. This Back to School project was aimed at supporting internally displaced children or children who were greatly affected by the Anglophone crisis and could not proceed with their education. Like we may not know, or not everybody might be aware, but schools in Bamenda, especially in the town, do operate. However, not all the children have the opportunity to go to school because some of them are internally displaced. So like what you can see on this slide, during this project, after raising close to about 400,000, We paid visitations to schools. We paying the school fees of our beneficiaries. Initially, the project was aimed at supporting 5 children. However, with time and the sum of money we had at hand, we added the number to 7. So we had 7 beneficiaries all together. Bill, on the next slide, please. As you can see on this picture, these were some of the things that we brought for the children. Apart from paying their fees, we bought them everything that they needed to go to school. We bought them books, calculators, pens, school bags, and everything. Bill, on the next slide, please. The next slide, Roddy. Yes, on this picture, you can see these are 7 beneficiaries. They are all in secondary school. That's from Form 1 to Form 4. Those in pink, the pink bags are in Form 1, and the other girl in red, Form 2. The other ones in the black bags are in Form 3 and 4, and all of them attend different schools, both government and private schools. So we are able to do that for them. Bill, the next slide. And of course, this could not have been possible without, Bill, the next slide, please. Okay, this would not have been possible without the support of my team. I happen to work with an amazing team. They were very supportive. When I say supportive, I mean it. They were very supportive. I could not have done this on my own because at each stage, it required a lot of effort, energy, and time. And without them, I could not have been able to go anywhere. These are my team members on the day of the implementation of the second project. We are going to know more about them later. The next slide. Apart from the MISPA Orphanage Outreach and the Back to School project, I was also privileged to partner with Daphne, as she said earlier. We were able to do a get-together gathering for her beneficiaries in December, and during the get-together, we evaluated their report cards. We also gave them some Christmas present, and for those whose books were finished, or you know how children are, some of them misplaced their books, we had to replace the books. And yes, Bill, the next slide. However, doing all this was never easy. It was never easy. I'm not a worker, and even most of my teammates were not workers as well. But however, we were able to carry out this project. We got our income from savings, which individual members of my team did, including myself. We also had donations from our family members and the public. We also had contributions from my team members. Like I earlier said, my team members were all amazing. They were very amazing. Bill, next slide. Not regarding everything, we face a huge number of challenges, and of course, the most frequently faced challenge, which I've realized many nonprofits face, is money. It was not easy trying to raise funds here and there to do a whole lot of things, and also distance was a huge barrier, given that at that point in time I was based in Yaoundé, including most of my team members. And I had to be traveling from Bamenda from time to time. And even while in Bamenda, to access the beneficiaries were never easy, because some of them don't really live in town. They live in the interior or the extreme ends, which is quite scary to go at time. And of course, time, it was difficult to set out time for meetings, set out time to implement the project. But however, we were able to do everything. Bill, the next slide. The next slide here shows some of my team members. I think just one person is not here. So they are made up of different people. We have Carlis, Marjorie, Sam, Constance, Courage, JC, Rabelli, and Chanceline. These people have been amazing. They sacrificed a lot in short, they bought my vision wholeheartedly, and thanks to them, all our projects, though we had a lot of difficulties, we did implement them successfully. Bill, next slide. I think I'm done. Yeah, that is it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mavis. Though you took more than your time, but I understand you had a lot to share. It's really amazing to see what you guys are doing back here in Cameroon, and in empowering and inspiring these young kids and giving them hope, giving them, in line with our anthem, we're taking back an oath to bring back hope. That's really amazing. When we see such initiative going on, it really motivates others to want to also create change. Please, if you're feeling the amazing work they're doing, please keep the comment section booming. Drop in some fires, drop in some claps, drop in some emojis, to show us that you're following, you're attending the session. And in a real life session, we would have been clapping by now. But since we cannot do that, please drop in emojis in the comment section. Thank you.
So, I think we're receiving the love already. People are already appreciating everything.
Wow.
Ever since she was talking, they're already appreciating.
Wow, amazing. And to think about it, all the presenters so far are girls. That's amazing.
I know, right?
So Mavis having presented, so we'll be moving to our next, presentations. So our next presenter are going to be talking on health and research. Health and research. And first on the list is Dr. Daki Shaka. Dr. Daki is a former Commonwealth Master Scholar. She's the founder of Youth to Youth and one of the key promoters of sexual reproductive health and community health outreach programs. She has won a number of and has participated in several international seminars, including programs in South America and Johns Hopkins University. She'll be talking about her impact and projects in Cameroon under her supervision. Hello, Dr. Jackie. Hello, is Dr. Jackie on the call?
I think Dr. Jackie is not yet available.
Okay, while waiting for her to join, we're going to move to the next speaker. There's a lot of speakers here. SDG number 3, good health and well-being, very important SDG. We have a lot of doctors here too. So our next speaker is Dr. Nuela Mundi. Hello, Dr. Nuela. Is she on the call?
Hi, Mr. Bill.
Yeah, it's Bill. There's no Mr. inside.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's not a big deal. So it's a pleasure for us.
My screen.
Yes, you can share a screen.
Please, Dr. Nuela, can you be a little bit louder, please?
Okay. I'm unable to share my screen. I have this notification message saying that host disabled participant screen sharing.
Let me see.
Is it possible for her to send the presentation to you, Bill? What do you think?
Yes, but also she can be make host. I don't know.
Okay.
The meeting host can make a host.
You can try again. Try sharing again. You should be fine now.
She's not yet host. I don't think she can share now.
I've changed the security settings. You can try sharing again. It should be fine now.
Okay.
I think it's beginning to share.
Is it okay now?
Yes, yes, we can see you.
Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everybody. I would like to start by thanking Open Dreams for giving me this opportunity to share my work. I hope I'm loud enough.
Yeah,
we
5 and 5.
we can hear you.
Yeah, yes.
So my name's Dr. Mundi Nualan Jonjam. I'm a medical doctor, epilepsy activist, and advocate who is passionate about helping people living with epilepsy, especially those living in resource-poor settings like Cameroon. So just a reminder, or just a brief overview of what epilepsy is for those who are not of the medical field. Epilepsy is a chronic disorder of the brain which leads to so often for me to have recurrent convulsions or seizures. About 65 million people are living with epilepsy globally, with about 80% of those affected living in low and middle income countries like Cameroon. So Cameroon has one of the highest epilepsy prevalence in Africa and in the world, as you can see from this slide, with about 80% of those affected not having access to treatment and care. Worse still, people living with epilepsy in Cameroon are often victims of extreme levels of stigma, discrimination, and maltreatment, which all stems from several myths and misconceptions about epilepsy, which themselves result from a low level of public awareness about epilepsy. My first experience with epilepsy was in 2018 while I was conducting research for my MD thesis. I worked in some communities in the central region of Cameroon where the prevalence of epilepsy was really high, and stigma against people living with epilepsy was really alarming. In fact, one of the villages had been stigmatized to the point where it was being referred to as the epilepsy villages. And patients living with epilepsy in that village were often stigmatized to the point where even bike riders will not carry them. So all these observations and experiences developed in me a high motivation to want to make a difference. This high motivation prompted me to start an organization called Epilepsy Awareness and Aid Foundation, which has as main objective to raise awareness and educate the public about epilepsy, to reduce epilepsy stigma through awareness raising, advocate in respect of the civil, educational, employment, and health rights of people living with epilepsy, increase social mobilization and empower people living with epilepsy, and to inform, educate, and provide assistance to people living with epilepsy. To achieve our objectives, we are using the following strategies. We carry out awareness raising activities in school. On this slide, you are in Progressive Comprehensive High School Mancon, where we're raising awareness about epilepsy amongst the students. In addition, we teach them how to administer first aid for convulsions or first aid for seizure, so that when they see somebody or a student convulsing, they don't run away, as people are fond of doing. Here we were in another school, we had GHS downtown, as well as GHS at Tiala. We're still raising awareness among students. We also raise awareness in other public places like churches. The images here were in two different churches, where Baptist Church in Cameroon and another church in Benin. Yeah, we're also raising awareness in the church in one remote community in the central region of Cameroon. We also use local and national media outlets for sensitization. In this image, we are at CRTV Northwest to raise awareness about epilepsy. In addition, we are also carrying out awareness raising activities on social media. We have different social media pages on Twitter, Instagram, as well as Facebook. We also, to provide assistance to people living with epilepsy, we also carry out community outreach in communities with high epilepsy prevalence. In this image, we visited 2 communities, one in the central region and the other in the western region, where we offered material as well as medical assistance to people living with epilepsy. Here you still have images from the outreach. Same here. One of the things that I've observed is that children living with epilepsy are one of the most vulnerable but yet neglected populations in resource-limited settings. Epilepsy denies many children the right to education, resulting in lifelong disadvantages. This prompted us to start up an initiative called Aid for Children Living with Epilepsy, where we provide material and medical assistance to these children, as well as offer scholarships to children living with epilepsy to encourage them to pursue their education, because most of these children usually drop out of school because of frequent convulsions or epilepsy-related stigma. Currently, we are sponsoring 4 children living with epilepsy. We hope to increase the number when we secure enough funding. In addition to the challenges faced by all persons living with epilepsy, women and girls living with epilepsy are confronted daily by a myriad of challenges which significantly reduces their quality of life. For example, these women have been shown to have a low access to educational and employment opportunities, as well as reproductive and sexual health services. This prompted us to start up an initiative called Socioeconomic Empowerment of Women and Girls Living with Epilepsy, which has as main objective to empower these women and girls socioeconomically so that they can become independent and help themselves as well as their family. So we started this project in March this year, and we have over 30 women and girls living with epilepsy who are currently benefiting from the project. In April 2021, I championed the creation of an epilepsy clinic, the first ever epilepsy clinic in the northwest region of Cameroon. It is found at the Queen Baptist Hospital, where I currently work. The reason why I decided to champion the creation of this clinic is because studies have shown that access to healthcare remains critically low for people living with epilepsy. So this clinic currently has over 300 patients living with epilepsy who are receiving adequate treatment and care, and this has significantly improved their quality of life. Clinical tests such as electroencephalography. For those of us who are not in the medical field, electroencephalography is just a test that helps in the diagnosis and management of epilepsy. EEG, as it is known, it's very important in the management of epilepsy. However, EEG services are very scarce in Cameroon, and even when they are available, they are very expensive and cannot be afforded by many patients living with epilepsy. So I'm currently working with a UK-based organization called Tele-EEG to create the first ever Tele-EEG service in Cameroon, which is going to be at the Queen Baptist Hospital. This is expected to assist in the management of over 1,000 patients living with epilepsy. So apart from epilepsy, I'm also actively involved in other community engagement activities such as viral hepatitis awareness. I was a regional task force coordinator for the Hepatitis B campaign organized by Community Vision Group, where I championed or led many awareness raising activities aimed at educating the public and raising awareness about viral hepatitis as well as its complications. I also organized a massive breast awareness campaign in October last year, where over 5,000 young girls and women were educated on breast cancer and trained on self-breast exam. So I'm going to end my presentation with this quote: as we pursue personal success, we owe it as a duty to our community and nations to make them a better place. So my names are Dr. Mundi Noelan Junjam. I'm a medical doctor, epilepsy activist, and advocate. who is passionate about helping people living with epilepsy. I raise my voice every day, not so that I can be heard, but so that the silent and distressed voices of millions of people with epilepsy can be heard. Join me to make the world a better place for people living with epilepsy. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Noella. An inspirational presentation. At this point, I will ask people to put their hands together, but they are already clapping. Everybody is already clapping for you. And you know, one of the interesting things about listening to doctors is that you always get to learn new terms from them. I will not call the terms that I learned, but learn from her presentation. And as we all know, health is a very important part of our community welfare, and epilepsy in particular. I don't think it's something that many people know about in several underdeveloped places. So the fact that she's holding campaigns on such a strategic illness is very, very inspirational. Once more, thank you so much for your amazing presentation. And I'll call on Bill to introduce our next speaker. Hello, Bill.
Hello, Mickey. Actually, you know, my network these days is not the best, but we are pushing through. So thank you once more, Dr. Mundi, for, you know, the great work you're doing in Cameroon, helping, you know, these children, people suffering from epilepsy. You know, it takes people like you to change, you know, the community, to change the way people perceive people suffering from some different diseases. And Nikki, I guess at this moment, we're moving to the next presenter.
Yes, yeah, or is, I don't know if Dr. Daki is available. I don't know, is she around? And then we'll have to move to the next presenter.
Okay, our next speaker is, you know, one of those, should I say, pillars, those mentors at OD that is really championing graduate scholar mentorship programs, and he has been great influence.
Oh, I can testify to that.
Yeah, great. You know, it's your name, so you can feel it. Gilbert is a research fellow. He is a 2012 Chevening Scholar, 2019 Commonwealth Scholar. He's the founding president and CEO of Community Vision Group. And at Open Dreams, he's a graduate scholar mentor. Please help me, you know, let us welcome Gilbert Mickey. As he presents to us today, he'll be telling to us about what the impact he's doing in Cameroon and Africa through the Community Vision Group. Hello, Gilbert.
Hello, Bill.
Yeah, happy to hear from you once more. The floor
so
is
happy to hear from you.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you, Mickey. And thanks to the rest of the Open Dreams family for the great opportunity to share with you what we're doing back in Cameroon. I'm Mickey Gilbert, as Bill rightly indicated, the founder of Community Vision Group, which was formerly referred to as Vocational Center for International Development in Cameroon. Basically, I'm going to briefly take you through what our initiatives in Cameroon are, and definitely present a brief roadmap where we are moving to based on what we've been able to do. First and foremost, it's good for us to understand that Community Vision Group is a not-for-profit organization that is committed to actually accompany communities in overcoming their challenges through some kind of practical solutions in 4 key areas, which I'll be highlighting later on. Community Vision Group is not only a Cameroon-based organization. We are now growing and growing very fast. We are currently registered in the United Kingdom, England and Wales. We also registered in Cameroon, and we are in Malawi as well. So it's a vision that is growing to envelop as many communities as possible. Our mission basically is to help activate and nurture potentials within communities for a holistic transformation. And we are actually looking at the big #1 sustainable development goal, which is no poverty. So we're also aiming for that society that is going to be free from poverty. Our vision is to create a transformed community, and we believe that we cannot do this without other people. We have listened from the previous presenters. It's not all about us, but with us. So we believe that through a shared responsibility, we can be able to transform our communities. Our strategic areas of focus really revolve around providing technical and vocational secondary education, which is the bedrock of our activities that we started up in Cameroon prior to the uprising in the Northwest region and Southwest regions. We also embark on supporting activities that get towards ensuring quality primary education, which I'll be highlighting what is happening there. And we have healthcare service delivery, and our focus is mainly with the primary eye care services and hepatitis B, as Dr. Mundi highlighted. And most importantly, if you saw from my first page, we are very curious about research, and personally being recently joined the research consortium for school health and nutrition that is hosted by the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine here in the United Kingdom. What have we been able to do? It will be very good for me to highlight very quickly that we started up these activities in Cameroon way back in 2015. And before then, we were very active in the space of how we can cut back on youth unemployment through skills provision. And as you can see from the first picture, our activities actually caught the attention of some authorities, and we were provided over 10,000 hectares of land, which was donated by one of the local authorities, where you can find the building, the structure, the first structure that is actually up there, which is going to serve like a community vision group country office, certainly hoping that the crisis will give way sometime in the near future. So since we're very curious about skill development from the onset, we had to set up state-of-the-art fashion design and clothing industry program. And you can find the whole cluster of equipment, designing and standard sewing machines, where we had over 30 sewing machines that were brought in, and designing machine. We've had the opportunity to train a couple of young Cameroonians. And our most recent intervention that happened before I left Cameroon to the UK for the PhD program was the training of over 180 internally displaced people, young people. And that has been going on. And we also have the computer training program there, which we partner with schools. We had a very robust technological center where children could come and learn the basics of computer. We're only hoping that the crisis should be able to subdue itself, because our source spot is in the Northwest region. Most recent activities that we're carrying out, which Dr. Mundi has highlighted, is the Hepatitis B campaign program. And this is really one of the silent killers that many people don't even know. You can live with hepatitis and you never know until you are dictated on the last day when they're telling you that you are going to have liver cirrhosis or liver cancer or whatever. So we have taken upon ourselves to be able to engage young graduates. Dr. Mundi, when I started up this initiative in January, I was so overburdened by what was happening. And I shared the vision with Dr. Mondi. She saw it with the same lens as Mickey, and since January 2021, we've been able to do so much activities, so many activities with a lot of impact. And you can find there, we don't only carry out awareness raising by maybe telling people what hepatitis is all about. We also have our most recent initiative, we call it Atlas for Hepatitis B, which we have already carried out the first and the second edition. You can find Dr. Mundi and 3 others there in their sporting attire. And you have a team of volunteers. So at the moment, at the level of Cameroon, we have over 150 volunteers that are really championing this initiative. And it's all thanks to Dr. Mundi, who took the challenge to act as the pioneer regional task force coordinator, handing over the baton to Ms. Ching Jordan, who is currently researching on hepatitis B. All of this, Bill and Mickey and the moderators, it will be of interest for me to highlight here that of over 150 volunteers, none of, I think I might not even know up to 20% of them. So this is the power of mobilizing people with like-mindedness to be able to engage the community in a transformative initiative. This hepatitis B program actually led us to winning a global award in 2021 by Hepatitis B Foundation in the US. And with the great work that Dr. Monde and the team in Cameroon, they were able to do, they had to push Mickey to emerge as one of the 6 global winners of Be the Change advocacy campaign. So I always dedicate this great achievement to this wonderful team operating at the level of Cameroon. Thank you once more, Dr. Monde and the team. We continue to do much. What our roadmap is all about is really going to be touching very much on what Community Vision Group is standing for. Hepatitis B, primary eye care program, all of those ones are foundational programs. The core of our program is school feeding program. And school feeding is actually my area of research. I worked with the program while in Cameroon with the US government, and I transitioned to the field to the PhD level for a research program to actually investigate, to explore how this program can be used in a multifaceted manner to impact the community. So it will be important. Probably I'll be highlighting what is going to be happening in the next few months as we begin the program in September 2022. But the whole idea is we want every child who do not have the opportunity to access a healthy, nutritious meal per day to be able to have it. If I stop here to ask most of you to tell me, were you able to eat, to have food while in primary school? When you were in primary school, what kind of food were you eating? Some of you will tell me very, very interesting stories here. So as a foundation to the school feeding program, we have the backpack support, which Daphne and Providence Action are really getting into. It's a critical component of Community Vision Group. And so I think that Open Dreams has just given opportunity for us to see how we can harness partnerships and collaboration to scale our activities. We also have what we call Energy for Education. We've already been in touch with our collaborator in China, who is going to be supplying us solar energy. It's kind of going to be a kind of a really interesting program to accompany the school feeding program. And we want to believe that children in rural communities have the right to study not just during the day, and they have to also study in the night in order to effectively compete with their urban counterparts. So the Energy for Education campaign will be rolling on to accompany the school feeding program. And we have hepatitis B, which is what I've already indicated. We have the primary eye care program, which Rhonda Bongfeng is actually at the core of it. That's why we call it Community Vision Group. is just bringing together experts to function in the respective areas that are connected to our vision. And so we believe that at this stage, children's refractive errors will be able to get sorted at that stage as we provide food to them. So these are all foundational programs connecting to the school feeding program. So what is it all about? We believe that from my research, which I conducted in 2021 in Malawi, I had to come out with really an interesting model that is going to be driving a revolution within the school feeding community. Our children are not going to be fed with food that is produced or cultivated in the US or in the UK, but we want to believe that food should be grown locally and should be eaten locally. That is our campaign. And when we will start off the campaign, Bill and Mickey, we're just raising our voices to say it's just going to cost 150 francs to feed a child per day, and it's going to cost 27,000 francs to feed a child per year. I will spare you with this literature, but school feeding program, in essence, basically is a program that is designed to provide food to children at their place of education. And the aim is to improve educational and nutritional outcome, as well as agricultural and economic activities at the level of the local communities. In the world, globally, we have 663 million children that are enrolled in school, and only about 328 million of these children are currently receiving school feeding programs. And we see that there is a lot more that needs to be done. Most recent findings, which have been published by the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine through the research consortium, which I am a part, shows that we need approximately 4.7 billion US dollars to be able to sustainably provide school meals to children across the globe. And this will also be taking us to about 5.8 billion annually US dollars to provide school meals. Not only providing meals, we believe that when you feed a child, you need to provide a toilet. When you feed a child, you need to provide hand washing stations. So all of that are kind of added expenses that come with school feeding programs. So these are just kind of benefits which we can see I've highlighted, coming to ensure that there is some inclusivity in our primary education, as well as the quality, improving agricultural development at the level of the local communities, improving the health and nutrition status, and better education, because children on the streets, when they hear that there is food being provided in this school, they love to go to school. I have seen that with the baseline survey we conducted with the US Department of Agriculture in Cameroon. We started off with a program. The baseline, we had 15,000 children in our target schools. And at the end of the first year, the enrollment in this school went up to about 21,300 children. So food actually attracts children to school, and that is the magic behind it. Our inspiration is actually rooted in the Bible. Matthew 14:14 to 21, when you have time to read, you can read that on your own, but this is the foundation of our inspiration. We believe that Jesus Christ himself was concerned about feeding people. And the Bible in this section of the scripture says, Jesus fed 5,000 men. And besides, the Bible also says this was including women and children. So we want these children to be counted in addition to the 5,000 that is exposed in the scriptures. How is this going to be happening? We are already getting a lot of institutional admiration. We already have one organization, one international UN-based organization that has indicated interest to partner with us to pilot the program from September 2021. Because we have so many schools, we're going to be engaging in fundraising. And I believe that in this call, we have friends here who are going to be supporting this amazing program. Churches are going to be strongly involved in the process. Dedicated birthday parties, please do not allow your birthday to go unnoticed. Use your birthday to feed children in one remote community that you don't even know, but you will be changing lives. There will be a kind of a very special moment that will be putting aside a certain amount of money. I believe probably by August, some maybe 2 million francs will be put aside. But the essence is to enable people to double the love. So we will be telling you, if you put in 150, we will double it to 300. So feeding one child per day, we will double it to feeding 2 children per day. So that is an interesting initiative that we are currently looking at. And I want to invite you, because I already support Community Vision as a founder. We have a lot of people who are shouting, we support Community Vision Group. You can join us today as a volunteer to be part of this story. Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilbert, for that. Again, what can I say? You know, when you have a vision as such, a vision that's going to impact the community, when you stand for that vision, you always have people to support you. You always have people to join you. And I think each and every one of us can become a part of the thing that everybody here, in one way or another, can add to feeding children. School feeding can add to make life better for someone somewhere in the country or even without. So, Bill, we've heard a man speak now. What do you think about that?
Wow, that's like interesting, you know. Open Dreams is diverse and empowered. You know, the youths here are making amazing. I mean, Community Vision Group. I didn't know all about that. I knew some of the things he was doing, but today I think I've really learned a lot about what Community Vision Groups are about. And you know, opportunities for partnerships are betting. I just want to read some comments in the group just to encourage those that are dropping comments. We have a comment here. The comment is coming from, can I see the name well? Okay, Platin Nuki says, really hoping to connect with anyone in Health Project after this. Looking forward to that. Wow, this is interesting. Renewable energy is my field. Awesome. Wow, getting so much positive energy from this. More grace to the team. Great. Thank you very much for your comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. We like to get to hear from you. Keep the emojis coming. Thank you, everyone. So, Mickey, right now we're moving to our next presenter, which is another Nuela, but this time with a different spelling. So, would you like to introduce her?
I think this time the Nuela we have is Guanya Manuela, who is a medical doctor and the founder or CEO of Top Pregnancy with Dr. Nuela. Wow, we're so eager to hear from Dr. Nuela. Hello, Dr. Nuela. Available? Oh. Bill, I don't think Dr. Nuela is around right now.
Okay.
So I'm guessing we should move on with the program to the next segment.
Is Dr. Daki back? Hello, Dr. Daki, is she on the call? Not yet. Okay. So the next presenter is going to be, you know, let me directly get to that. Okay, here we are. So the next presentation is going to be on agriculture. Agriculture, food sufficiency, zero hunger, SDG 2. Coming in first to present to us her initiative. She has been doing a lot of work back here at Open Dreams as a volunteer, as a scholar. She's from the Pan-African University, and she's so much interested in agriculture. Growing up in a family that promoted a lot of farming, she decided to use innovative means, innovative volunteerism to see how to give back to her community. So the next presenter is Faith Chontu. Faith Chontu, are you on the call? Hello.
Hello, everyone. Greetings.
Hello.
Faith Chontu, as Bill said, and today I'll be presenting my project. the project I've been running for the past month, and it's an agricultural project in schools meant to empower high school students on sustainable agricultural practices. And sorry, I'll be sharing my screen. I don't know if it's okay. So this is my screen, and it's just a very short narrative of the project. This project was inspired by the fact that I am from an agricultural background. I cannot say agriculture because agriculture has there's a lot to that word. So I'll say I'm from a farming background, and growing up, what I knew best to do, apart from eating, because I happen to love food, apart from eating, was actually knowing how to get my food and cook the food and eat the food. According to statistics in Cameroon, it has been shown that agriculture employs 70% of the economy. That is, so every other thing in Cameroon happens just within the remaining 30%. It is a wonder, it is a surprise that the government, even at this, like 70% of the population depends on agriculture, but then the government still spends billions of francs CFA yearly, annually, quarterly to import agricultural products. In 2020, like 2020 in whole, the government spent close to 150 billion francs CFA to import corn. I mean, come on, when you think of that, you're like, I'm walking everywhere, I'm seeing corn, like go to the northwest, there's sufficient farmland for all this to happen. Go to the north, to all the regions to find all these things, but how come we're spending that amount of money to import a lot of what we can produce ourselves? Why not just take maybe 3 billion of that money? Why not take 3 billion of that money and invest in farming in Cameroon? Why should we have to import this huge amount of money, amount of product? And it has been brought down to my point of view. I can say it is because our school curriculum has not been structured in a way to encourage practical agriculture. When we started this research work, we went to schools. We have visited 7 schools so far, and we have worked with these 7 schools. And in the majority of the schools, they have chosen agriculture per se as their manual labor, whatever. But then during that period, for manual labor, for agriculture, they send the students to clean the classrooms, to sweep the compound, and then they'll say that is agriculture. And then they give them 18 on 20 for agriculture. And at the end of the day, the student will leave school saying that I have studied agriculture, I have done this, but the person doesn't know one thing about farming. I mean, farming, not even agriculture as a whole. So this project, we visited 7 schools in Yaoundé. From the left of my screen, that is my team, and the other side, that is the team at Lycée de Corbisson with the principal of the lycée. And I think that one of the things that has really been peculiar to me about this project is the fact that we go to schools and a principal will tell me that she doesn't believe in agriculture. She doesn't see anything important to agriculture because she's a principal. She sits in school and then she sees the benefit of her being in school rather than being on the farm. So with these people in authority discouraging agriculture but taking agriculture as their manual labor, their manual labor module, it gives me mixed feelings on what they are really teaching the students. So with this project, we taught the students how to produce antibacterial soap from cassava leaf extract, as can be seen on the image, and we also taught them how to produce enhanced custard powder and that was the first phase of the project. And also we spoke with the students, encouraging them on agriculture. And in a class where we have 80 students, will be like a quick survey. Who wants to be a farmer? Who wants to do anything related to agriculture? We have one person out of 80. Then we'll ask their reasons for not choosing agriculture. They'll be like, agriculture is for the poor. Agriculture is for those in the villages. Agriculture is for these. Like they had the kind of notions that they had about agriculture were just so backward, and that made me to understand that they're not getting into agriculture is because of lack of orientation, lack of information, or insufficient information. And you can see from here, this is an agricultural expert. This is our agricultural expert with the students, showing them how to produce the antibacterial soap. And on the other end, we have that was after the practice, a guy is holding a kind of a tray on his hand. That is where we put the soap. And then this was the second phase of the project, which took place around the same time. We went to the schools, and this is the first image is in Obala, Lycée de Obala, and the second is Lycée de Bankomo. And Lycée de Bankomo, we not just have the teachers get involved, but the lady there, that is the principal. Like she was very, very much into agriculture. She is very, very much into agriculture, and she encouraged what we were doing. And she even came, like when we were getting the students, she came to the class, she spoke with her students, she really encouraged them though. And she was part of the selection process of the students that we're going to work with. And together in the farm, we spent close to 30 minutes, just that office call, and then she went back. But then she was there with us every step of the way, and we planted these things. We worked with 5 crops: corn, beans, cocoyams, potatoes, and cassava. And this is an image. Like we went back this last week, starting Wednesday, we have started the third phase of our project, where we are going for evaluation and then weeding the crops. As you can see, the first image is of Lycée de Corezo, and this is how well the maize is doing. Before we entered the farm, it was a total mess. You could not even imagine that there was anything there, but we entered, and together the students, we were really, really into it, and we weed the farm, and then this is what we had. And in Lycée de Corbisson, the other image, you see that everything is growing well. Before the corn that you're seeing, in between is beans, and then after the corn, we have cassava, and before we have the other 2 crops. So that is it. And then another thing that that is important to me is not just getting the students to maybe work the farm and then get the project to be validated, but they are these numbers. Like looking at numbers, it's making me, I don't know if I should say I'm angry, or I don't know if I should say I'm motivated to do more for my community, but this is it. In the Northwest, this data is the Northwest and Southwest of Cameroon, and we have 2,865,009,906 million people in situation of food insecurity. That is, and it is true that it is the Anglophone crisis, but then what can be done? I'm thinking of to myself, what can I do in my situation as a potential agriculturalist to elevate, or maybe just to chip in and then reduce the gap, reduce this number of people that go hungry every day without food to eat. And this information is not something that was done a long time ago. This is of March 2022. So we see that in the agricultural domain, the food safety domain, a lot of work needs to be done there. And hopefully here at OD, a lot of people are into agriculture, can see how we can address the situation in the Northwest and the Southwest, the food situation, the food insecurity situation in the South and the North and the Southwest region of Cameroon, even with the war. And this is data, what is food security, and this is it. According to the FAA, for food security to be attained and hunger eradicated, food production will have to increase by 70% in 2050. We know that the population growth is growing at a geometric sequence, while food production is at an arithmetic production. So we need a lot, like there's a lot that is required from everyone. And if you are telling me that you don't find agriculture important, how are we going to feed the growing population? How are we going to be able to meet this 70% so that these 821 million people do not go hungry? And there's also another aspect of agriculture, which is, well, people are still finding ways of reducing the issue of food wastage. And this is it. What, like annually, we have 1.4 billion tons of food wasted, and people go hungry. So my project, this is it. And I was tapping the youth because youth are a dynamic force that we are not tapping into. We need to use the tools that they understand, and we cannot be bringing old people to tell them that, okay, get into agriculture when they are sitting in their offices. So we youth getting into the field, me talking to students, encouraging them to enter the field, is something that it's really, I don't know, it's impacting to my community, to the youth, to the students. And at the end of the day, we have students reaching to us. Students have spoken with their parents, and their parents are reaching to us. How can we get them into agriculture? How can we do this? How can we do that? And that is it. That is my project, and that is what I've been working on. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Faith, for that very interesting presentation. You know, I'm so amazed to see a young person talking so passionately about agriculture. It's such a pretty sight. We have a very interesting. It says, "He who controls your stomach controls your mind and entire being." You know, anyways, the importance of agriculture cannot be overemphasized. Like, everybody needs to eat, and the youth, being the force that they are, can stand at the forefront to improve your food in our community. Once more, sir, it's nice hearing from you, Faith. And I would like to just apologize because we are a little bit behind time, but you know, the projects are so interesting, the ideas are so mind-blowing, like we want to listen to everything. Like Bill and I, we've been facing the trouble, we don't want to stop ideas, like the ideas are so pretty, we want to hear them all. But anyways, we are going to try to keep up with the time, so we just bear with you to be patient with us. Right, Bill? I think we'll be moving on to our next presenter. Okay. So I think we have another person that's going to talk to us about his project in the domain of agriculture. We'll be calling on Mr. Milton right now. He's going to what he has been doing in the field and how we can become a part of it. Is Mr. Bill available?
Yes, Bill is right here.
Okay.
Hello, Milton. Is Milton on the call?
Milton.
It seems
Yes,
Milton
yes.
is not on the call.
Yeah,
I can't find him.
Anyways, I think we'll have to move ahead, right?
Yeah, we will move ahead. So we'll be moving to our next session, which is under Youth Civic Engagement / Mentorship. Yeah, the guys are coming in already. Yeah, we have, we're going to be listening to some trailblazers at Open Dreams who have been championing youth engagement, volunteerism. Even before they got their scholarship, they have been making a lot of waves. And, the scholarship opportunity just amplified their ability to even create the impact they are doing in their community. So under the youth engagement track, first on the list, we'll be listening from Clement Gonsong. Clement Gonsong I mean, he's almost someone we shouldn't be introducing again, because his work through the Youth Inspiration Organization is really, is very well communicated on, and the impact are well seen. And I would like to hear more about that today. Hello, Clement.
Hi, Bill. Thanks.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you. What about you?
No, doing amazing. We are eager to hear about you. You know, it's true that some of us already know, but I'm not sure we know all. And some people here will be their first time listening to your initiative. So please ride on, inspire us with youth inspiration.
All right. So sadly, I do not have a fully or an extensive presentation, but I'll be sharing something a little bit later. As an introduction, my name is Clement. I am currently a third-year student at Chester University, and I'm studying electrical and electronics engineering. So my engagement in the youth civic space is essentially, I'm trying to help a lot of other young people like me acquire skills that would help them do the things they really want to do. I would look at it as sort of providing complementary education to what we already have, to the standard or official education we have in school. And this initiative or ideas comes from some of the things I learned as a student here in HSE, and my own experiences engaging with other people and other organizations across the globe. So one of our flagship programs that we have currently is what we call the Goodwill Fellowship Program. I'm going to share my screen shortly. Basically, this program, it's a program that put together, we invite some of the most promising change makers in Cameroon to teach them, to empower them with some of the skills that they need for them to ride on this change making journey. So I think if I started and someone taught me about how to write grants, or how to connect with people, or how to raise funds, how to develop projects, I think I probably had gone so much further than I am today. So we put together this program to help a lot of young people in Cameroon, especially, who have this will to want to do something but do not have the ability. Because I think for you to be able to create an impact in your community, you need to have that ability and you need to have that determination to do something. If you have the determination and not the ability, then it might be slow. So we are getting these people who are determined, and we are helping them to be able to do these things they want to do by giving them skills. And generally what happens is that during the program we get this. Last year we worked with 16 people because we were running a prototype of the program. We're running on a very small scale to see how it's going to turn out and how the people love it. So we had 16 people, and some of them from the Open Dreams community, but a lot of my volunteers, I think almost all the people who work with me to see this program come true were from the Open Dreams community. The 16 people had about 3 days of an intensive training workshop in Yaoundé. Essentially, they would come to a training center around 8 or 9 a.m. and would finish around 5 or 6 p.m. each for the 3 days. And what we're doing during these 3 days is teaching them about design thinking, teaching them about leadership. We had sessions on public speaking. We had sessions on branding, how to position yourself online such that you can attract opportunities. We had sessions on high income skills for them to learn about skills that could help them to get money. So putting all this together, we had people from different fields of work to come and speak to them and have workshops with them. And after these events, we also had about a 4-month-long mentorship program, during which every weekend would go through some of the concepts that we introduced them earlier to in details. So for example, at the beginning, in this picture, you can see they are working on a project. We started with them, we grouped them in, we placed them in groups according to their interests of SDGs. And at the end of the whole event, the goal was that they would identify a problem and walk with them through various stages of, how to identify that problem, how to develop potential solutions, the brainstorming and everything, and properly pitching that project. So at the end of the 3-day, at last day, they had finished all of these tasks and would be presenting on the projects identified. But this was very intense, and we didn't really go deep into many of the concepts we covered because of the limited time. So the idea of the mentorship is we go deeper into some of these concepts we have touched, and we also bring in people from different spaces to come and share their experiences. We had people talking about emotional intelligence. We had Edwin coming one time to share about his experience in Cameroon. That was essentially how the mentorship phase worked. This project was, surprisingly, it went so well for me. I think it went more than I expected it to go. We had a total of about 60 to 79 people applying to be part of the program, and we had to select just 16. And at the end of the program, we had one person dropping off because the virtual program wasn't quite as easy to, and because of other commitments, they weren't able to keep in. But in the end, we had a total of about 150 plus people being reached, because one of the things that we are particularly stressing on is the aspect of giving back. So a lot of the scholars, a lot of the fellows had to learn how to give back. They had to organize other campaigns or other projects that would give back to their communities. I would just scroll right down to maybe some pictures. So I have a picture of some of the people who work with, all of them Open Dreams scholars, and these were the people that we worked as fellows. You can see some of them too were also Open Dreams scholars. Pictures of the day of the event, Open Dreams was ably represented. We had Mr. Kaba around, we had a lot of people from the Open Dreams community, and we're also lucky to have the ambassador from the European Union with us on this last day, which was quite a win for us, for someone just starting a project. In total, this project raised about $3,500, and the money really helped us to set up everything. And we have also provided mini grants to a lot of the young people who wanted to start some of the projects, because I think one of the major barriers to entry is that you could be determined, you could have the ability, but at the beginning, getting finance to support that passion would be very, very difficult, especially when you're a very young person. A lot of organizations wouldn't trust you with that money, or if you don't have any track record, it would be difficult for you to win that first grant. So one of the unique perspectives that we also bring to this program is that, aside from the mentorship and the resources and the skills that we give them, we also give them a grant to start whatever project they want to. But we don't just hand it out to them. They would have to develop their own project, full-fledged project, and apply for the grants before they get that money. This year we gave out $400, about 250,000 francs for 2 projects that are some of our fellows developed, and we are hoping to do something similar again coming this summer. The support from the Open Dreams family has really been has been the backbone for the success of this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clement. I think everyone here is aware that Clement has been like a shining with his amazing contributions to youth development and initiative. I think what he's doing is technically bridging the gap between the determination and achievement of what people like us nowadays can accomplish. So once more, we are grateful to have your initiative presented, and I'm sure that will be a part of your vision. We're going to move on with our program, and apparently The next speakers under the youth category are not available right now. So I think that we can conveniently move on to the next part. Okay, so the last part of our talks today on the Sustainable Development Goal 9 on technology and innovation. And we'll be calling on our very own Bill Aga to present to us what he's been working on, present to us his project. We've been hearing from him, do an amazing, hear his impact in this domain. Hello, Bill. Hello, Bill. Can you get me?
Hello, Mickey.
Okay.
I guess it's my time.
It's your turn. Show us what you've been doing.
Even though I was hoping that, that would come before me. Anyway, let me write it.
Okay. Thank you.
So, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
I think it's loading. Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, so I'll be presenting to you guys TIC, which is now called Tech Innovation Center. It started as a club. So why TIC? Why now? The future cannot be built without technology talent. The world is rapidly evolving towards a tech-driven society, and the lack of opportunities to inspire and develop these talents at a youth age can be a big loss for our country and the world. And me being in the domain of computer science and having taken up some training and participated in some competition and hackathons, I realized the power of these kinds of initiatives to drive about creativity and drive about innovation. Now, also being a secondary school computer science teacher, I noticed a growing interest in youth to want to explore and create using technology tools, but nevertheless, they lacked the necessary opportunities or necessary guidance that they needed to implement their idea or to begin on a journey of implementing their idea. And working with the students, I decided to create a club in the school I was teaching. It was called the Tech Innovative Club. That's actually where the name came from. And the Tech Innovative Club, basically we were meeting like 2 times a week and working on doing extracurricular school hours, working on projects and teaching them some tech skills. So by the end of that, I discovered the tech talents were not only in my school, they were like over the internet. We're seeing a lot of people from different regions in Cameroon doing amazing stuff. So I thought to myself, like, why don't we expand this and, also mentor these other kids and mentor these other young innovative minds. That's where a team came together, and we, Open Dreams scholars, we came together and we said, okay, let's see how we can mentor all these kids. They are doing amazing stuff around. In the picture here, you see our blessed chief. He's producing gas, 1 bottle of gas from 1 liter of petrol. From 1 liter of petrol, he's producing one bottle of gas. So amazing. He's just in Lower City, and he has been working on in the tech space since like Form 4. And I'm sure some of us have seen him on the internet already. So these are the kind of people that are, motivating us and inspiring us to continue with such initiatives. So what are our focus? Our focus, basically, we're passionate about inspiring and empowering technology talent, which we abbreviate techpreneurs. Techpreneurs, that is technology entrepreneurs. We have a vision like, how can we, begin a journey of raising the next Elon Musk and inspiring the next Bill Gates? Surely, most of these great minds were inspired by some other great minds. So we are on the journey to do that. And one of the first of our programs is the TIC Summit, which is an annual tech innovation rally for youth. Every year we invite students, thousands of students all over the country to pick up their technological tools and identify a problem that they are passionate about solving and developing a solution on it and presenting it at the TIC Summit. We mentored them online starting February to April, and towards the end of April, the best of the projects are selected to come to Yaoundé for the final challenge. We also have TIC Bootcamp, which is an annual intensive hands-on 3 months. It's some years it's not 3 months, because the TIC Bootcamp basically is a summer in-person intensive hands-on experience where we help sharpen the skills of youth by training them in software development or industrial design skills. Basically, we leverage computer labs around the country. Last year it was held in Yaoundé and Bamenda, and we bring the students together. For a minimum fee, they are given training on tech and basically tech skills, a lot of tech skills, web development and industrial design. We also have the TIC Fellowship, which is still under development. The aim is just to, learn entrepreneurship skills from mentors, exchange with them. And this is a photo of TIC Summit 2022. We brought together high school students from across Cameroon. This is a drone. This drone was developed by an opposite student. Here's him with his team. The drone aims to help farmers. And I've already spoke about the bootcamp. This is a fellowship. Here you can see our own co-founder of Open Dreams, Hans. He was giving a mentorship session to the members of the fellowship, where he was presenting on how to actually grow their ideas, because we should know that some of our alumni of the summit actually go into that they finish opposites and they go into the active life and university. So the aim of the fellowship is a means to keep following them up with their ideas, so that these ideas should not just end at the TIC Summit, but they should get trainings during the bootcamp, arm themselves with the skills they need to build their solutions, and during the fellowship, they should arm themselves with entrepreneurship skills they need to further, test, iterate, and grow their ideas. And we also, our impact, right? So through our different programs, we have been able to impact 550 youths directly. These are youths that participated in our TIC Summit, which we have run 2 editions already, our TIC Bootcamp and the Startup Fellowship. 550 youths directly impacted, and we have impacted indirectly close to 1,000. Those that we have gone to schools, talked to them about the summit, those that have, were not really selected for the summit, but actually, took part in the online mentorship. So indirectly close to 1,000 and directly 550. Some of our participants have received funding from MIT. One of our participants who is right now is in year 1 university. He received a $600 grant from MIT for his project, and it was the same project he presented during TIC Summit. So thanks to that, he has been paired up with an incubator here in Cameroon, where he's currently following up to see how to send the product to market. Some ideas have received support in kind, like equipment, working space for the teams. One team in Douala, a certain Cameroonian decided to offer them a space where they could meet and work. So they currently have like a 1-room place where they have been furnished with equipment. And for another one, their school fees were paid up to opposite. The guy that I showed in the first few slides, where he did gas from petrol. His school fees has been paid up to opposite since Form 4. Some youths were offered, opportunity to take the training in the bootcamp. Since the bootcamp is a paid program, the TIC Summit alumni were given free entry. Also, through Open Dreams, they are being followed up and mentored to access further training opportunities and scholarship opportunities for them to, build their skills to be able to create more impact and they further develop their solutions. Okay, right here was supposed to be a short video of what the summit. So this is last year's summit.
Okay, I think we can see the video now.
All right, thank you very much. That was the video, and that is it for the TIC initiative. Thank you very much. And through Open Dreams, we have been able to really help some of these scholars get mentorships, connect them with mentors, and connect them with scholarship opportunities. And we're looking forward to see how they too can get scholarships and go and further develop their skills. So that's what we are about. I'm not sure we'll be able to take questions, but thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bill, for the presentation influencing our youth of today in the field of technology and innovation. So we will be moving on to our last speaker right now. So I'll be calling on Mr. Reynald, who will talk to us for a brief 3 minutes. 3 minutes, please, on the Premier. I think that the name of his project is Premier Dev. So if Reynald is on the call, hello, Reynald.
Hi, Nikki.
Okay. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you. So I'm coming in for one of my team members. I think I'm just going to share my screen. Wave. Okay. Can you please see my screen? Can you please see my screen?
It's still loaded. Yes,
it's
possible.
Okay, great. So we're basically Premier Dev. I think what inspired us was we carried out a project. Due to the crisis, we actually carried out a project in Bamenda, trying to help some of the IDPs. But later on, realized that giving them food and all of that was not kind of sustainable. And so we thought of ways that we could really empower people rather than just giving them food. We should finish in about a month or so. And so we did our research and we fell on the idea to empower young people through tech. And I think our idea was that we would empower them, taking things into consideration, the fact that entrepreneurship also is not very much encouraged among us. So we wanted to give a platform for young people to showcase some of the things that they're doing, right? And some of the projects they're working on. And so that's one aspect of our project, the hackathon, where we try to bring maybe young people in Cameroon who already have projects that they're working on. And we bring a panel of judges and they're able to present their idea, get feedback, because we feel that getting feedback from someone who's already in the industry is quite important. So these people get their feedback, they show their prototypes if they have. And at the end of the day, we give prizes to the top 3. So it's just like an encouragement that they should go on. And the other aspect of is skills training, where we basically base now training them in front-end development, back-end development. We are hoping to add mobile development and other skill sets as well as we go along. And so I think that's our focus so far. We started last year and we've been able to train over 25 students, both in Yaoundé and Bamenda. and we are looking forward to holding the second session of our bootcamp come June. So I think in a summary, that's what we were doing. In terms of challenges, I think we have challenges like raising funds, because right now we have to make it sustainable, and we're looking for ways to try to make that sustainable, to make people to be able to know that, okay, maybe you have to pay for it, and if it is free, how do you encourage people then to be able to commit? Because that's also a challenge that we have. And we have the issue that most of our team members are not in the ground, so it makes it a bit challenging when we want to organize events, right? And so we have to bring in people, volunteers, and sometimes people are not as available, even though they might want to be. So that is like a huge challenge for us. And also the fact that we currently don't have like, and our model works on getting teachers, right? And so getting people, young people who are committed to such things is kind of hard, right? So we're trying as much as possible so we can get teachers as well. So if you probably know someone who is into tech and is willing to volunteer, it's not like volunteer, but it's volunteers, but we get to give them something along the way, but we are not paying them. And so if you know someone, we'll be really happy to connect with them as well, because right now we are trying to get people to join us, especially in the terms of as teachers. And another thing is, like I mentioned, getting people to commit, knowing that it is free, it's slightly difficult. And we currently now, knowing that most of us are going to graduate, and most of our source of funding, as you can see from here, as we're coming from the MasterCard. And once we graduate, our source of funding now will now mean that we have to now look beyond that. And if we are not able to look for ways to bring in money, then it means that we probably will find it hard to continue. So funding is a huge issue, which we're currently working on. The team members as well, we all students, so it's hard. We're either students or we are working, so it's hard to have all of us maybe free at the same time. So recently we had an issue where we booked a place and suddenly it got postponed, and because one of the key members could not be available, we had to go ahead and we had to pay for a place. So which is really challenging because all of us are either working or engaged in something. But I think genuinely that's what we're doing. We're into tech, we're into entrepreneurship. And I think COVID has also made it possible that we are not just training people with the mindset that they can work for the tech ecosystem in Cameroon, but they can also look beyond. So because companies are much more open to the idea of remote hiring remote workers now. I think genuinely that's what we do. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reynolds, for your presentation. I think it's worth noting that most of our projects have been inspired by the ongoing crisis in the Northwest and the Southwest region. So it's a very impressive remark because of our nation are called on to address the problems that we are facing and bring forth solutions that will help us build our nation. So it's very impressive that most of us have not turned a blind eye to this particular problem and are working towards it. So Noella is on the call, so I'll plead with us to accord her some time to talk about what she's been doing in the domain of health. So Dr. Noella is a medical doctor and founder or CEO of Talk Pregnancy with Dr. Noella. So hello, Dr. Noella.
Hello, Mickey.
Welcome once more. We're eager to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So you have the floor.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Thank you, Open Dreams, for this opportunity. And sorry, I'll not be able to have a slide because it was on a very short notice, but I think I really have something at least passionate to share about, and maybe it's going to impact some people out there. So actually, I'll be talking about Talk Pregnancy with Dr. Nuela and what is it all about, what happened before this initiative was created. Actually, it was in 2019 when this actually came up due to my pregnancy situation. I had an uneventful pregnancy and everything was going on well, but at the last moment, that's the 9 months of pregnancy, everything changed, where I just went for a routine checkup and I discovered that there was a cut around the neck of the baby and the baby was almost suffocating. So it was an emergency and they had to remove the baby immediately. So there was something I didn't plan for. And it just showed me that if me as a medical doctor can go through that, it means that there are other women out there who have lost their babies or gone into a serious complications when they have not even reached the hospital where maybe it could have been tackled very early. So with this, it made me to come up with this initiative in order to help women out there, to tell them the importance of doing a routine checkup, of importance of following up a pregnancy. Even if it's your third pregnancy or your fifth pregnancy, you consider it as the first pregnancy. So with all this, it just encompasses pregnancy and women health issues in general. So with Talk Pregnancy with Dr. Nuela, the main objective is to improve the health of women and children, thus decreasing maternal and neonatal mortality, and also improving the health of adolescents and in promoting sexual and reproductive health among adolescents. So this July is going to make it 2 years, and we have actually carried out projects. Our first project that we did was in the Bambili community, because we know that's where a lot of students are there, young people are there, and they need to know about that, especially the sexual and reproductive health rights among young people. So we target this population in order to prevent, because part of of maternal mortality is usually due to unsafe abortions, complications from unsafe abortions, and all this is due to unwanted pregnancies. So targeting these people in the Bambili community, we had a lot of them, and even some girls decided to even volunteer with us. Then, without leaving anyone out, we also decided to target people living with disabilities. So with that, I really, really hope this was earlier, because we had great pictures with those people living with disabilities, and they were really, really impressed, and they gave us some of their challenges which they face while accessing reproductive health services. And from here, we were able to make up a report and even give to the director, especially to the director of the regional hospital, Bamenda, where most of these people living with disabilities access. Also, we also collaborated with other organizations, Happy Mother, Happy Child, to commemorate the Mother's Day, where we also trained mothers. We say, your children are the most precious things to you, and no child should die because you do not know what to do in an emergency situation. So we trained mothers on how to manage emergency situations like burns, choking, and bleeding. So all those things were targeted. So we have been going around, we have been doing a lot of community work. And now, in order to increase sustainability, we are now recruiting volunteers in order to train them more on what Talk Pregnancy is all about, and increasing not only in the Northwest region, getting other regions involved so that we can actually get to all these women, especially those in the suburbs. We want to get to them, because this is where the problem usually come in, especially with our crisis. So we have been doing a lot. I'll just like to stop here, but at least it was good. I even give this so that it can create an impact to others out there. Thank you, Sir Akaba, for this opportunity, and Open Dreams for all this. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Nuela, for the amazing work you're doing in the community. It was a pleasure listening to you, and this is a real moment of inspiration. Like, a lot of positive impact is going on. So I would like to ask a question, and I'll answer it. It's a rhetorical question. So who is a leader? A leader is someone that leads? No. A leader is someone who influences people to work on goals. Someone once said, John Quincy Adams, if your action inspires others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, you are a leader. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, I want to introduce someone who, okay. Wow, I'm just getting a message that one of our speakers is available. We're already going on the closing remarks. So Mickey, would you like to introduce one of our panelists who is currently available?
Please, who is that? I've not gotten that.
Milton? It seems Milton is not available.
So is he there or he's not there?
I am here.
Oh, okay. So I think Milton was to present on the sufficiency and zero hunger. So you're going to present to us your project, what you've been working on in this domain. And I'm pleading, you have just about 3 to 4 minutes so that we can round up with the program. Thank you for joining. 2 minutes, sorry. Please, 2 minutes so that we can round as possible because we're already behind time. So you have the floor, Milton.
All right, 2 minutes is what I got, so I will not share any slides. I'll just go ahead and let you know what I'm doing, how it's coming about. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can.
All right. My name is Mbifansi Milton. I'm Open Dreams Scholar since 2018. I'm a Masterclass Scholar at ALA. Currently an AI and robotics major in AUI. And my project is really not just about zero food, but zero hunger. I didn't know it was called that before. But it's about creating a system through which we could get people to do what they do in their daily lives, but transforming that into sustainable financial activity. Now, our startup focuses on agriculture for now, just so that we could validate our model and growth hypothesis. And this is not just about food. It's about the fact that the prices of agricultural products are rising. So a lot of people go hungry day to day because they cannot afford certain agricultural products where they are. I hear now even the price of Gary is really high. So our model was focused on not just cutting down the cost, but also being able to deliver products directly to the customer, taking away from them the effect of the middleman in the agricultural and retail market currently in Cameroon. Now, the middleman causes a lot of problems, ranging from logistics to the high cost of purchase of products. So that at the end of the day, it's the final consumer who is paying the cost of all of these things. One middleman transfers to another, etc. At the time when it's getting to the market, a unit of tomato costs 500 francs, and you're wondering how that came to be. But we've discovered that if we cut out the middleman and take the products directly to the customer where they are, even people who previously could not afford it can do that, because now we've effectively been able to cut down the costs at which people can purchase these products, these essential products for them and their families. So this is what we're doing. In a nutshell, that is just about it. But in the middle of it, there's a lot of processes that go on, from purchase to price reduction to the entire logistics system. And major challenge that we're facing is the high overhead that we incur in logistics, especially because agricultural products are perishable and their shelf life is about 48 hours. Now we're looking for means right now to cut that that perishability out and product loss outside of our overhead, so that we can focus on inventory and grow our customer base. The pricing policy is so that people can purchase things at very low prizes, but the profit and the profitability of the entire project comes through when we're capable of scaling a fixed cost of purchase of a product across a large customer volume. Thank you very much. This is what we're doing.
Okay, thank you very much, Milton. Happy to hear from you. So we are drawing the curtains on this epic event. But before that, we're going to get the closing remarks. And coming to giving our closing remarks is someone who takes people where they don't want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but where they ought to be. He inspires action. He inspires people to dream more, to do more, to learn more, to become more. He is a true visionary, someone who is able to see the future and ability to, communicate that vision to his followers, yielding great results in the process, and then using these successes for the benefit of others. Ladies and gentlemen, you must have picked it out. You must already be imagining who I'm talking about. If we're in a hall right now, we should have all been cheering. I think we can be doing so in the comment section. Please help me welcome Mr. Akaba James.
Oh, thank you so much, Bill. I really get absorbed in your introduction because the much you talk about me, I see a reflection of that in every member of the Open Dreams community, and that's why I'm so proud to belong. For far too long we've let potential go in vain. Now is the time for us to start redirecting it to addressing human challenges. In fact, I'm so proud that for our first ever Civic Engagement Fair, there's so much to bring to the fore than we have time for. And when I look at this, I actually shed tears. I shed some tears for a dream everybody has, but very few get to achieving it. The Open Dreams dream was never, we never believed at this point such tremendous progress would have been made. And I would like to take a comparison with the situation of one of the stars of Cameroon. I'm talking particularly about the boxing champion, Ngannou. The time that Ngannou had a dream, he knew that Cameroon could not contain him. He knew that Cameroon might not be able to even recognize his talent. When you're a boxer in Cameroon, who knows you? How many boxers do we grow up knowing in Cameroon? But we know Mike Tyson from childhood. So he knew where exactly to go for his dream. He might not have had the means to enter a plane like some of us have the luxury to enter. Nobody even cared about him. He was all love to himself. But guess what? The guy would not die with his dream. He would prefer to die following his dream than to die with his dream in Cameroon. So he took the path up north, knowing that bullets can take him off in Libya, or he can drown in the Atlantic Ocean. But all of those things did not deter him from following his dream. He took off, went over there and achieved it. And you know what? If he stands today and says he's not Cameroonian, Cameroonian will be fighting to claim him. That is exactly the kind of spirit that we want from every Open Dreams scholar. The youth in Cameroon might be frustrated. They might have 1,000 reasons to complain, but the ones who will end up succeeding tomorrow are the ones getting things done. The ones not counting on government to come and, in fact, I would love to say this statement from Jay Desmond, who said, if the government doesn't engage with ideas, engage them with innovations. And I see all of those innovations here at play. And I also like the statement from Mickey that he who controls your stomach controls you. There are ways we can control people. In fact, we have it in our own African proverb that he who washes his hands clean feasts with the elders. And again, you are endowed with the brain. What do you do to address the concerns of humanity with all of these amazing things? In fact, I felt so proud listening to every one of you speak some of the key things that if our country had had earlier, maybe we'll not be talking about emergence 2035, would have already emerged by now. It's never too late. I'm happy that we are taking this track. What we need to do is to see how we involve more people in the vision, we involve more partners, we attract more resources, and at the end of the day, Cameroon will be that dream we want. In fact, we have an opportunity to make a heaven right here. Why wait for tomorrow? It's been incredibly amazing. The coordinators have been fantastic. That's some of the people here that we reached them at short notice because we had logistic issues. There are many more people who have not presented, like Pongaju, a lot of them. So this is just the beginning of a big vision. Let's continue. Assume that if you were the leader of Cameroon today, you don't need to be president to help that country. You don't need to be minister. Just do something amazing that will put you at the forefront. In fact, people like Etofis, people like Denganu I just talked, they are in a class of their own. Through their own effort, together we can reconstruct our society. We can make the world better. A very happy Sunday to all of us. I hope next time we were gathering in this, there will be far too many things to talk about. Our dreams are open, and let's continue pushing the frontiers of visions and actions and translating our ideas into what will make people better and look up to us, and into a legacy that will far outlive our existence here on earth. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Amazing.
So inspiring.
Amazing. Wow. So we have the Daki, the group we say.
Wow.
Thank you, James. You really inspire us. You have ignited a fire in us, and we are determined to aspire to inspire before we expire. Wow, that was so poetic, Gilbert. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are actually at the last minutes of our meeting of this civic engagement, and we have seen the potential, that the youths carry. What we have been from the humanitarian projects to the technology-driven projects, the research, health project, agriculture project, youth engagement, mentorship. It has been so amazing. Mickey, what are some of your impressions after this event?
I mean, this has been one of the most inspirational events I've had. It's so amazing to see the young people engage in transforming their country and even making impact that go beyond the national borders.
Yeah, so amazing. I can only imagine what this will be in the next 5 years, 10 years, if we can remain consistent, remain determined. For sure, we are going to face a lot of challenges, and most of us are already facing them, but it is our determination that's going to keep us going. And I want to quote Francis Ganu, the example Mr. James just earlier used. I listened to him speak last Thursday, and he said, they can take everything away from us. He's talking about the Western world, but they can never take our determination. They can never take our determination, our resilience. And that was so inspiring. And it's the same message I would like to share with all of us. Let us keep the flame burning. Let us keep, aspiring to inspire and taking the actions, being proactive, changing our community, transforming problems into solutions. I think it is the power of consistently doing this that's going to bring about a gigantic change. Because someone might be saying, oh, I'm just in my little corner doing this little thing. How am I going to change Cameroon? I think it is these little actions put together that the sum of the parts that's going to give a very big boom that's going to change things in a positive direction in Cameroon and Africa, and why not the world. So thank you very much for taking part in this session. Thank you to all our amazing, inspirational youth leaders who are making waves and transformation around their community and from far and from near. I would like us at this moment to on our cameras for a family picture, after which it will be a bye-bye from our end. If you can.
And while the family picture is going on, I would especially love to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Kellen, one of the lecturers at the University of Bamenda. We had the opportunity to meet her in the last distance education program at the University of Bamenda, and she's incredibly, I mean, she's one of those members that will be one of those professionals that will be very instrumental in helping us to implant ourselves better in that institution.
Okay, great. So guys, cheese. Let's smile. Give me a second, please. I haven't taken it yet. All right. The first set, cheese.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese.
Please, one more, because there are several screens. Let me take this one more.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. Thank you, everyone, for being there today. We have arrived at the end of the meeting.
Thank you all for being patient again. It was lovely to be with you. Okay. Bill, thank you so very much.